Coming up on Network Africa, Muslims all over the world mark Eid al-Fitr, a Muslim holiday that marks the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. Kenya confirms 15 more cases of the Indian COVID-19 variant. Plus, the AU troops' mandates in Somalia to be extended till December. Hello and welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Layo Adegoke. As Muslims all over the world celebrate Eid al-Fitr, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged to use all available resources and manpower in dealing with bandits and kidnappers so as to protect the country's food production capacity. The president made the comments in Abuja after observing the Eid prayers, marking the end of the month-long Ramadan fast. He says law enforcement agencies are working to oust the bandits and other criminal elements, which explains the series of long meetings held in recent weeks, chaired by him, with some resolutions made public and others kept secret.
The law enforcement agencies are working hard to regain confidence against the bandits so that people can go back to the land. This is very important. This is what the law enforcement agents are very busy about now. The rainy season is coming, so we want people to go back to the land so that we can get enough food for the country and even export. And we are hoping Nigerians will understand the problem. Nigerians know at which stage we came, 2015, what stage we are now, both on security, both on economy. And we are going by the Constitution, we are doing our best, but with the resources available and the manpower available to us, we are working very hard. And I think the National Assembly is cooperating very well. Within the resources available to us, they are certainly giving us priority in our requirements, and we are doing our best. The important thing is the elites must make the attempt to understand the military. If we order, say, weapons and armored vehicles, it takes time for the manufacturers. It takes time when it is brought here, eventually shipped here, taken to our training institutions, training the trainers, and then sending them to. This is a very, very long process. And even if you can have contact with the retired military chaps, they will tell you the difference between the time we came and now, how much hardware we have got, how much training we have done. If you don't know, go and ask people from Borno, from Adamawa, the difference in terms of security. And without security, you can't do anything. And in the South, our biggest surprise and disappointment is what is happening in the Northwest. And we are dealing with it.
Well, here in Lagos, the chief imam of the state, Sulaiman Abdulnola, is asking the government to address the insecurity and make the country safe for all. He made the call at the Dodan Barracks prayer ground in Obalende, where many Muslims gathered for this year's Eid prayers. Our correspondent Titilayo Abereowo reports.
The year 2020 came with a lot of challenges as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, making it impossible for Muslim faithfuls to come together after the 30-day prayer and fasting because of the restrictions on social and religious gatherings. This This year, the story is different as worshippers visit prayer grounds for special prayers to mark Eid al-Fitr at Dodan Barracks in Obalinde.
Allahu Akbar Kabira.
Muslims came with their face masks as they joined others to thank God for a successful fasting period.
La ilaha illallah. Lusina lauddina walau kari al-kafiru. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
The chief imam of Lagos State led the prayer session as they make their supplication to Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.
After the prayer, the Muslim cleric and the State Commissioner of Police bear their mind on the security situation in the country, with an appeal to residents to be security conscious and support government in tackling the challenges.
There is no religion that can prosper in anarchy. So we all need to work together. We need to learn from what happened in Iraq, what happened in Syria, what happened in South Sudan. That no nation can work in disintegration. No nation can work in segregation. We all need to work together.
Enough security arsenal, security strategies have been put in place. Every member living in Lagos should be assured that their lives and property, the threats being portrayed from everywhere, we are having enough security apparatus to confront any threat from anywhere that will destabilize the security of Lagos.
Eid al-Fitr is one of the two major festivals celebrated by Muslims. Residents are still being asked to avoid large gatherings to limit the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Titilayo Aberewo, Channels Television News.
Kenya has confirmed 15 more cases of the Indian COVID-19 variant. Dr. Rashid Aman from the Health Ministry says this now brings the total number of cases from this mutation to 20. The B1617 variant has been blamed for India's rise in cases that has seen the country record more than 20 million infections. The variant has also been classified by the World Health Organization as a variant of global concern. Preliminary studies show the mutation spreads more easily than other variants and requires further study. 7 African countries so far have confirmed the presence of this variant, with Kenya confirming most of the cases. Let's speak now to Kenyan journalist Cyrus Umbati joining us from Nairobi. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Cyrus, I can imagine this must be a scary time for Kenyans. How are they reacting to this discovery of more cases of this particular Indian COVID-19 variant?
Good evening. As usual, the variant of, from India is causing a lot of concern among Kenyans because so far we have almost 20 cases which have been confirmed. The good luck is that most of these cases are being confirmed some 400 kilometers away from Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. That's in Kisumu. And these cases came through some group of Pakistanis who had flown from India to Kenya earlier this month. So far, they're saying the cases are spreading fast, or rather, where these first cases had contacts, which is actually causing concern in the lakeside city of Kisumu. However, the government is paying a lot of attention there, trying to do contact tracing. Whoever came in touch with those who have been confirmed to be positive with this variant. So they are being traced and being put on isolation or quarantine. But then there is concern because given what's being experienced in India, which everyone is watching on either on media, on television, social media, and other channels of communication, it's causing a lot of concern among Kenyans. So they don't want to hear anything of the sort. It's a concern of everyone, including Kenyans, the government itself, so much resources are being paid towards containing the spread of the same disease or the variant in Kisumu so that it cannot spread fast. So far, there have been no deaths since those cases were confirmed a week ago, and the government says the positive cases are being managed properly.
Well, indeed, this variant is of great concern. So what measures are being taken at the moment to, curb the spread of this in the country?
The government is doing contact tracing of all those who have been in touch with the confirmed cases and putting them in isolation or quarantine. And then now much resources are being put in those areas in terms of testing and tracing all the cases so that they can isolate them from the general public at large. Because you see, and as part of the measures to contain the spread, Kenya banned any flight from and to India. It's today actually when again the head of civil aviation renewed the ban on flights from Kenya to India and India to Kenya for another month. So that's it's part of the ways of containing the spread of the variant to Kenya. And apparently there is an increase in terms of screening at the airports and the ports of entry in Kenya as part of measures to contain the spread. However, we as a country are facing a lot of challenges in terms of conducting fast and more tests here and there. But they are just struggling with whatever resources they have for now.
All right, just finally, Cyrus, let's talk about the vaccination campaign happening in Kenya. So what impact has this had so far on ending, the pandemic in the country?
Vaccination, there's a big challenge in terms of the vaccines themselves because since India stopped the exportation of the same to end parts of the world from them, Kenya, which was among the members of the COVAX program to receive the Oxford and AstraZeneca vaccine, also suffered in the same. So far, almost 1 million people have been vaccinated in Kenya, which is very low in terms of numbers or volume, out of the 50 million Kenyans who are in the country. So far, we are seeing the government making efforts to get more vaccines from Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson from the US. But then it will take almost a month before the first batch of 30 million or so to arrive in Kenya. That means now those who got the AstraZeneca first jab, it's actually they're in a dilemma. They don't know what will happen next because you see, you got this vaccine and you are going to get, you got AstraZeneca and then you are being told you get, for example, Pfizer. What happens? Because we don't know whether the tests which have been done can allow that you mix those vaccines. However, the whole program is facing a lot of challenges here and there. There's a lot of suspicion among some Kenyans because out of 1.2 million people, vaccines which came to Kenya, you see almost 1 million, or rather, to be precise, around 930,000 Kenyans have been vaccinated. Currently, the government is paying focus on teachers. We have around 300,000 teachers, but more than half of them have been vaccinated. And there's a push, there's a drive to have them vaccinated because schools are being reopened for them to now to take care of the children at school. But then there's a lot of doubt and rumor mongering about the drugs, the vaccines, which is actually stopping the whole program at large. However, we are seeing a lot of confidence among but many Kenyans are gaining confidence in the drugs and the vaccine. And we believe with much more kind of campaign, it will gain the popularity that is needed to be adopted at large.
All right, then, Kenyan journalist Cyrus Mbati, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Still ahead on the program. Welcome back to the program. The African Union mission in Somalia, AMISOM, is expected to remain in the country until December 31st, when the security situation is stabilized and the elections are held. The decision on the extension of the mandate of AMISOM troops was confirmed in a meeting that was held by the 15-member Committee on Peace and Security. This decision is a relief for Somalia, which has been relying on AMISOM troops to support its security operations since 2007. The 15-member Committee of the African Union Peace and Security Council include Kenya, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Egypt, Nigeria and Algeria. The plan to extend the AMISOM mandate will be forwarded to the United Nations Security Council, which also supports their operations in Somalia. Now that will be forwarded for approval in May 2021. In the meantime, Somalia has rejected African Union Special Envoy, former Ghanaian President John Mahama, who was appointed to mediate talks over the political crisis in the country. In a letter to the head of the AU Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, Somalia's foreign minister said that Mr. Mahama had extensive links with Kenya and would therefore not support him for the role. Somalia also says that the decision to name a special envoy has been overtaken by events, as the Prime Minister Hussein Roble has already brokered a deal to have parties resume discussions. Somalia recently accused neighboring Kenya of meddling in its domestic politics ahead of elections, which have now been postponed. However, Kenya has denied this. Gabon's President Ali Bongo Ondimba, he says the country could join the Commonwealth during the upcoming summit in Kigali, Rwanda. President Bongo, who held talks with the Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland, says the integration of Gabon into the Commonwealth will be a historical milestone. The president then went on to meet Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, to discuss environmental issues. The Commonwealth describes itself as an association of 54 countries with shared goals such as development, democracy, and peace. It was initially for countries that had once been part of the British Empire, but today any country can join. The last country that joined was Rwanda, and that was in 2009. Former First Lady of Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe, has been summoned to appear before a traditional court over the improper burial of the late President Robert Mugabe. The former First Lady is being accused of having gone against local culture by burying her husband at the family homestead instead of a place chosen by his relatives and mother. In a letter from Chief Zvimba, the traditional chief of Mugabe's home region, Mrs. Mugabe is being required to exhume the late president's body so that he can be reburied according to the culture of the Zimba people. She has also been asked to pay a fine, cattle and a goat for the violation. Former Zimbabwean President Mugabe died in 2019 at a hospital in Singapore at the age of 95. His family decided on a private burial in Kutama in Zimva district, about 90 kilometers west of the capital Harare, after weeks of argument with the government. Well, COVID-19 restrictions have kept expatriate families out of their countries for longer than they would desire. The social disconnect has brought anxiety to many as they have missed cultural gatherings, rituals, and many other things that connect them to their roots. However, a few restaurants specializing in serving original meals from different migrant countries have become a point of solace, comfort, and convergence for many migrants who have become homesick due to the travel restrictions. Here, they meet their country folks and enjoy traditional favorite dishes from their countries. Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia, visited some of these eating spots in Johannesburg and now reports.
Pure Grace Restaurant is one of the many food outlets in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, that have decided to deliver the taste of West African meals to those far away from home. Nigerian meals dominate the menu of this restaurant. Jollof rice, okra soup, and all the familiar goodies. Other West African nationalities are represented too, and this has become a favorite lunch stopover in this business district that also has a huge student population.
People from Zimbabwe, Nigeria themselves, Cameroon, so we a lot. We often come here and eat here. there's that taste that reminds you that you're still an African, you can still enjoy African food no matter where it comes from, as long as it's an African food.
The restaurant's owner, Peter Ikebudu, says the food outlet idea was born in 2005 after he realized that many of his peers missed their home dishes.
You know, home is one thing that you can't take away from somebody. Despite wherever he is, home food, home is home. So when they step in here, I make them feel at home. And they enjoy coming here because they will feel at home.
At 40 rand a plate, Peter sells dozens of plates per day, even to South Africans like Masindi Zandi, whose favorite is okra soup.
The taste is different. Yeah, it's nice, and whenever I'm hungry, because it makes me full. Nigerian food is the best.
On the other side of Johannesburg, a street in the Mayfair suburb has been turned into a little Mogadishu by Ibrahim Cow Restaurant. The founder, Ibrahim Mohammed from Somalia, first started a panel beating business and spray painting shop when he arrived in South Africa. When the shop was looted during xenophobic violence in 2015, he took 2 flasks, a cup, and went from shop to shop, selling Somalia's favorite coffee, Kawa. He realized that hundreds of Somali nationals living in this part of town miss their popular home coffee. His 2 flasks could not cope with the demand, so he decided to start a Kawa restaurant.
People, black people, every people in this country, you come and you like my job. And they like my coffee, you like my ginger, I fix ginger tea, Kawa, cake, our cake, different cake, not a normal cake. That's us, we fix it, we'll see maybe. Us, we'll bake biscuit.
Those from Ethiopia are not left out. Mandi Cafe and Restaurant, also in Mayfair, is one of the many eateries that have decided to serve original meals from Ethiopia. This restaurant is owned and operated by 37-year-old Selesh Sodano and his uncle.
Our people, they are suffering getting the food. To learn this pap and rice for South African food. That is the plan. He come from Ethiopian to prepare to get the spice and all the powder, everything what we need to use for food.
Gabriel Shiguti and his Ethiopian friends are frequent customers of this restaurant.
Because we're living with social life, they say, why are you eating a raw meat? Why it's not cooked? What they say? Come test. After they test, first day, second day, they're afraid. After they learn, every day they say, bring that food, bring that food.
With the COVID-19 pandemic showing no intention to vanish anytime soon, these restaurants and many others like them across South Africa will for a long time remain from home for thousands of migrants residing in the country. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
That's it on the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke.